to the VIP.
Yeah, the IP, VIP.
Don't wait, cause tonight's on me.
It's on me, baby, all on me, yeah.
Sexy models, champagne bottles.
Yeah, the IP, VIP.
Got 2 models, 3 more bottles.
Model when I'm model, got a bottle, there's only one side.
Be Taylor.
Yeah, the IP, VIP. It's on me, baby, all on me, yeah.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Xander Effect. I'm your host, Xander Dames. Got a lot of stuff to talk about today, including in entertainment news, John Boyega makes an emotional plea at London's Black Lives Matter protest. We'll talk a little bit about that. In sports, Drew Brees is still against fellow football players taking a knee during the National Anthem. We'll talk a little bit about that. In video game news, Sony, Microsoft, and many other video game platforms go ahead and share their support for Black Lives Matter. Plus, on the Xander Effect today, I have special guest, the WBC Women's Boxing Champion, Maricela Cornejo, is on the show. Gonna be an awesome show to listen to today. We'll talk a little bit about how she got started in boxing and where she is now. But first, here is Ian Guerin's Cry right here on the Xander Effect.
Every time I hear your voice, I
What's going on? It's Amanda Holly, and you're listening to The Xander Effect.
Tripping, you stay up on my mind. The reason that my heart beats. If you leave off that line, we got such a connection. Just let the stars align. Baby, make a wish and close your eyes. I don't wanna miss the snow. I don't wanna let this go. Something I just wanna know. Tell me what you're wishing for. You pull up the whip, it's for me. You take me on trips to Dubai, but that don't compare to the feelings that you got me feeling.
That was Amanda Holly's Get It Boy right here on the Xander Effect. In entertainment news, Star Wars star John Boyega went, in front of a crowd at a Black Lives Matter protest in London, and he basically had a very impassioned speech to share to the public. He went ahead to say, quote, "I'm speaking to you from my heart. Look, I don't know if I'm going to have a career after this, but F that. This is a moment where we are now a physical representation of our mentality, of our shared idea that Black Lives Matter. We have the right to live a balanced and healthy life. We are a physical representation of our unity, and it's very important at this time that we stick together in mind and spirit and in body. Today is about innocent people who are halfway through their process. We don't know what George Floyd could have achieved. We don't know what Sandra Bland could have achieved. But today, we're going to make sure that won't be an alien, the thought to our young ones. Every black person here remembered when another person reminded you that you were black. I need you to understand how painful this S is. I need you to understand how painful it is to be reminded every day that your race means nothing. Very, very powerful words by an incredible actor in John Boyega. And like him, many other people, many other actors, many other celebrities, sports enthusiasts, athletes, the works from all over the world have band together in protest of injustice and for equality. And this is still going on right now. As I'm talking to you right now, there are protests all over Los Angeles, all over the nation that are still going on. Yes, granted, the 4 officers have now been charged. The main officer that had his knee on George Floyd's neck has been charged with second-degree murder. The senator of the state of Minnesota upped his charges to second-degree murder from third-degree, and also the other 3 officers have also been charged with second-degree murder and aiding and abetting. So they are in for a wild ride come trial. There's a lot of speculation as to where exactly this is going to go, so we'll see what happens next. In other entertainment news, Dick Wolf fires a writer from the new Law & Order spinoff for threatening to light up looters. The writer's name is Craig Gore. He has credits that include SWAT and Chicago PD. Basically, he was fired. He was hired on for the new spinoff, the Law & Order spinoff. And after posting a few controversial messages on Facebook, he was fired by Dick Wolf. Dick Wolf went ahead and said, quote, "I will not tolerate this conduct, especially during our hour of national grief. I am terminating Greg Core immediately." And like this, many other people are not tolerating anymore any type of negative chatter. And there's been many people that have been fired. There was 2 radio personalities in New York that were fired for using, they weren't using the N-word, but they were very much insinuating the N-word a lot. And they got fired because of that, because of the manner that they were using it, and it was in a very racist type of manner. So therefore, they were fired from the radio station, for good reasons. So like that, there's going to be a lot of that going on, and we'll see what else happens in the entertainment industry as far as that's concerned. In other entertainment news, Danielle Bergoli, the Cash Me Outside girl, also known as Bad Baby, has been awfully quiet during this time, and she's been getting a lot of backlash because she's been very quiet, as far as everything that's concerned. She was even called out on social media because she hadn't mentioned anything. She did go ahead and, when Tuesday came around and it was Blackout Tuesday, she went ahead and put like everybody on social media, like myself and everybody else on social media, she put a black picture up, just a black backdrop, nothing, a black blank picture up, and to go ahead in honor of Blackout Tuesday. And what many people don't know, what this young girl has been going through, she's actually had a substance abuse issue along with some trauma that she has suffered. And because of that, she actually entered herself into a rehab center a little shortly before all of this stuff started happening. And many people don't know that she's been very quiet. She hasn't done much on social media because she's been in rehab. But she still went ahead and posted something, in honor of the day, to pretty much show people that, hey, just because I haven't said anything doesn't mean that I don't know what's going on, and doesn't mean that I'm not, supporting it. So good on her for that. And here's hoping that she gets well in whatever issues she's got going on. Here's hoping that she gets well, she gets back on her feet. In other entertainment news, I had the opportunity to go ahead and interview WBC female boxing champion Maricela Cornejo. And man, she's got an amazing story. I've known this young woman for close to 10 years, and I knew her before she got like really big into the boxing world. And man, I'm like I told her in the interview, I'm very proud of the accomplishments that she has done, and her interview was incredible. But first, before we go to that, here is Lifelines. She's the one right here on the Xander Effect.
She's the one, my only girl. She's the one, my only girl. She's the one, my only one, my only girl. She's the one, my only one, my only girl. She's the one I used to say I'd walk her down the aisle one day. Tell her, baby, 'cause I long to say we should be together each and every day. I'll tell her that she's my only girl. Together we can rock this world. So let's go let I love and pearl. 'Cause damn how I love those pretty curls. But when you pull me to the side and you say that I'm a fly guy, baby, it's alright, 'cause I'll always try. Why is what you say to me? I love comes to the lead. That's why no one did what meant to be. And when you say I'm living fast and you think I'm little local, baby, it's okay, we'll do it nice and slow, folk. We can sing again, go until I end. Baby, 'cause you're mine. She's the one, my only girl. She's the one, my only girl. Yeah. She's the one I hold so tight. She's the one like every night. She's the one that's down for me. Welcome to my family, yeah. She's the one, she'll love me true. She's the one said I love you. She's the one that gets crazy in the backseat of a caddy. She's the one that sets my heart on fire. She's the one that grabs my whole desire. She's the one for me. Straight off the cover of a magazine. Girl, you know that you're the one through all the hard times and the fun. Girl, I'll be there till the end. Baby, 'cause you're mine. She's the one, my only one, my only girl. She's the one, my only one, my only girl. Maruca, my hyena, my only señorita. Baby, don't you know I only wanna be with you? I'm a messed up kid from a messed up past. But when I met you, you showed me love like I never had. That's why I wanna give you all the love I hold. You're the fire that burns inside my soul. You're the one that sets me free. My guardian angel from a fantasy, yeah. She's the one in the middle of the night. She's the one, she feels so right. She's the one who understands what it takes to please her man. She's the one doing body shots. She's the one giving all she's got. She's the one that's no pretend. Baby, 'cause you're mine. She's the one, my only one, my only girl. She's the one, my only one, my only girl. She's the
So on the Xander Effect, I have the champ, WBC champ, Maricela Cornejo on the Xander Effect. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to be on the show. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I had a morning at the beach. Got some sun in. Got a peaceful morning there before it gets crowded and crazy. So I always like to go when nobody's there. I live so close to Manhattan Beach that I'm there all the time. So
Nice. That's beautiful. I love going to the beach, especially right now. It's beach weather for real. So Mari, I've known you for a long time. I've known you for close to 9 years now. And when we met, I met you when you were just getting started into boxing. And man, I have to tell you that I admire your work ethic because you're so like focused on everything that you're doing. And it's just, I'm just so amazed. Even we were on my 30th birthday weekend trip. And while everybody else is getting, like drunk and whatever, you were sticking to your regiment and you were strict on what you were doing. It was just amazing to see. And obviously it pays off because look at you now. I mean, you're a champ. You were signed with Team Money. Now you're signed with Golden Boy Promotions.
I was never signed with Team Money.
But you weren't signed with,
No. I trained there.
Okay, so you were trained with Team Money, and you're signed with Golden Boy. You host now a show called Mari, and also Face to Face.
Yes.
you have all these things. I mean, you've come such a long way from when I've known you. I am so incredibly proud of the person that you are today and the person you continue to be as you inspire so many people, young, old, current, whoever, to be better than who they are. But your story isn't a story of automatic success. So I need to ask, how did you get started in boxing? How did you begin this journey?
Truly it was I never wanted to, I never saw myself as a kid becoming a boxer. I always saw myself being a lawyer because I always liked to argue. So I guess, I mean, the argument fighting kind of similar a little bit, you know, the adrenaline rush. But it all started when I got what do you call that? Like, I was unemployed. I was let go. But there's a word for it. I can't come up with. I can't think of it right now. I was working for a company, and at that time, they didn't have any more jobs, and so I got laid off. There we go. That's the proper word. So I got laid off, and he was like, "Well, in the meantime, you know, we're going to rehire you, but just you're being laid off right now because there's no other projects." So I was like, "Okay, so what do I do with my extra time right now?" So I always wanted to fight, and I said, "Why not get into boxing? I'm here in LA. I'm by wild card." And I sent an email. I bought 10 sessions. It was the best $500 investment that, I did. And they said I hit like a man. And at that time also I was doing the acting thing. I say like everybody and their grandma out here in LA. And I needed something that would give me the upper hand in auditions and separate me from all the beautiful girls, there with the casting. So I was like, what's going to separate me? And then I saw Gina Carano at that time with Strike Force, that she had just came out with that movie Haywire. So I was like, okay, this is going to be my niche. I'm going to be the Gina Carano in boxing, and I need to I think that's going to be good because guys love boxing, men love boxing. So yeah, Lord behold, it worked. I went into auditions, and that's what separated me. That's what got me my first lines. That's what, would get me more auditions, because they always want to know, when's your next fight? When are you doing, this and that. So, and thankfully I truly did fall in love with the sport. So, yeah, I went with it, and they tried to rehire me. I didn't go back. I never went back to work. I just stayed boxing, and I just threw my whole entire life, soul, blood, sweat, tears into learning the craft, because I was 20, let's say I was like 23, 24. And that's late in the game to start learning a sport and trying to, be up there and trying to become something like I envisioned at that time. And I was like, I need to learn everything about this sport. So, yeah, I started there, and here we are now. 10 years later. But in the meantime, the road through it was pretty crazy. It was very, very crazy. I got to know the back end of the sport, how it can be and how dirty it is. I wanted to know everything also, because I didn't want to be one of those boxers that got yes, you need to be focused on just fighting, but also I wanted to be a part of it all. I wanted to know what was going on. And you have those stories of Don King and Tyson, just that stuff getting
the corruption.
Correct. So I knew that was a part of it. So yeah, so I was here for 2 years, and then I went to Vegas for 2 years, and I trained out there with Mayweather Senior. That's probably why.
How did you get connected? I was going to ask, how did you get connected with that?
Boxing. You get into a sport, you get into, I'm sure, the podcast. It's a community. It's a community. Whatever sport baseball, it's a community. You'll get, if you really are serious about it and people see you grinding, and you put in your time also, and you do have a gift, because I mean I can't go into the runway and be like, I want to be America's Next, or a model, and be like 5'2". Like it's just like, you got to also be realistic. Like, it's like, do you really have a chance here? True. I knew I had something, so I needed to position myself in front of the right people, and so they can see me, and I can be seen, and they can know me, and they can remember me. And I knew I needed to do something different than the other girls were not doing. And that was that, being seen, being heard, being, in front of people, but keeping your dignity, keeping your, I'm a woman in a man's sport. Yes. I walk in a room full of men.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to also, I was very aware of that from the beginning, and I needed to respect myself. And that's, I think, something that, that paid off and has paid off, because, my name isn't tainted out there, So yes, I'm not saying I'm Beyonce looking, but I'm not that bad, on the eyes. I clean up pretty okay.
I mean, I gotta tell you, you're drop dead gorgeous, Mari. I mean, since the first time I met you, I was like, when you said you were getting into boxing, I was like, really? I was like, wow, you're gorgeous. But yeah, dude, that's awesome that you're also a boxer. You're a badass. I mean,
so you needed to carry yourself with respect. So that went a long way, and that's, I think, something that, it is difficult in the sport, trying to get ahead and trying to see, what's my chance. And I just threw all my marbles on myself. I said, if it's gonna work, it's gonna work, and God has my back, and I'm not gonna lose my soul nor my nor tarnish my name, or I just no. And short answer is no. I won't go down that route. So yeah, I was in Vegas for 2 years, and came back. I think I was in Miami for a year because of something with Oscar de la Hoya. That's how we got connected. I just did that. I just moved around. And I don't know right now, if you ask me, how did you do it? I don't even know. I just saw an opportunity, and I saw a door slightly open. I pushed that damn door right open, and I was like, I'm going to take that opportunity, and I'm not thinking twice about it. I didn't think about the how, where am I going to live, anything like. I was just like, all right, I'll get out there and I'll figure it out. And that's what I would do. And a lot of people didn't know that. And it was just, but it was like, truly, it was like everything that I would be doing is, everybody saw I was hungry, and I was focused, and that's the main thing. I was focused. I was never derailed by, where I was living at in Vegas, a party city. I never was out there partying. I would only go out there, like, if there was something huge, like a major celebration where it was like good people that I trust, and I'd go out there, celebrate them, but then I'd get back home and, still be up at 5 a.m. and run. So I had my priorities straight, and that's what a lot of people wanted to be a part of my journey as well, and help me get there, be a part of that, and help me reach my dreams, because they saw, like, this girl ain't playing, she's serious about this. So yeah, I was out in Miami, then I came back to LA, and here we are now. But it's been a journey. If somebody would have told me everything that I would have gone through, I've been like, no.
You're like, you gotta be kidding me. You're crazy.
Let me just stay home and bake cookies and have kids.
Well, I mean,
but that's even more difficult. I would want to do that. That's even more difficult.
I know you got family that has kids and everything, so you probably
that's why
that part.
Like, that's a tough job, man.
But I mean, but like, I gotta ask. So during the time that you were going through a transitional period, you lost your job and everything. I know that you expressed that you had a substance abuse problem, and it seems that you created that negative into this positive. How did that did boxing also have an influence in creating that positive?
No, I was far away from that substance abuse moment in my life. Truly, I was like 4, maybe 5 years sober at that time. But I still always had that adrenaline rush kick. And at that time I was like a gym junkie. I love the gym. I love working out. All girls want to always lose 5-10 pounds. Who knows if they will, regain, lose those 5-10 pounds. Like, all women want to always lose those 5-10 pounds. So I was a gym junkie at that time, but my past made me a gym junkie because of my past experience with drugs, that I needed to go from one addiction to another addiction. And thankfully, it was the gym that I went through, but that I chose after, leaving a heavy drug, but it was a chapter in my life that opened my eyes and changed my whole perspective truly in life. And I hit a rock bottom at a young age, and I can't say I regret it, because who knows if I would have, thought any different if that wouldn't have happened. So I don't regret it. Do I recommend it? Heck no.
Of course not. Yeah, duh, yeah.
Of course not. But don't ever think that just because I say my words, like I was like, man, I'm tainted. Like, I've gone through so much. Like, I have a lot of ridges to my edges, and a lot of chips in there because I've experienced so much. But don't ever think that your past, defines your future. Your past can strengthen you for your future, can strengthen you in every way to take on what's about to, all the things that you're about to do. And I'm grateful for that. I'm very blessed to have had all these experiences that have led me to become the woman that I am today. And mostly, also with my mom. I come from a very great background with my mom's strong family household, and our family's very united. I'm very thankful for that. And yeah, I just keep that in front of my mind and keep God in my life, and anything's possible.
No, and I mean, like you said, anything's possible. Look at all the stuff that you did. You would have never thought that you would have gone as far as you've gone, met the people that you've met. I mean, I know that you're good friends with Chiqui Rivera, and it's so interesting because I actually, you met me when I was a Hollywood club promoter. I actually, Yenny used to come to my clubs. I used to actually get her tables all the time. To my clubs all the time. So that was a huge thing. She actually celebrated Chiqui's birthday at one of my clubs. She called me. She's like, "Hey, do you have a table?" I was like, "For sure." I treated that woman like a VIP because she was so kind to me. She always tipped me. She was always grateful for me. She always called me if she needed a table. I mean, when she passed, it broke my heart. I'm not gonna lie. That totally broke my heart. I cried because I met this person, like a couple of times when she came to the club, and she was always the sweetest, nicest, kindest person. So it was crazy to see that. And you're friends with her daughter, you're friends with her family and everything. You've come a long way with the people that you've met and influenced so many in so many ways. I mean, you traveled down to Mexico and you train with some of the children down there. How was that like for you?
That's awesome. That's where it's at. That's where my heart's at. That's why I started boxing also, to create a platform for those kids who to create a platform for those kids who have been sexually molested, to be able to feel like it's okay to speak out. Because at that time when I first started boxing, it wasn't, the way we talk about, we're so open about hard subjects. Like sexual molestation, all these things that I kept secret for many years. I always wanted to say, I want to talk about my trauma, my life, of what I experienced. So it can be like, the kids can see, oh, it's okay to talk about, like, maybe I can tell my mom that this is happening to me. Thankfully, now with the internet and everything like that, with everybody being so vocal and standing up for, nobody's taking any shit right now in this world. Everybody's very vocal, and that to me with kids is everything. I feel like what happened to me at a very young age when I was a kid changed me. It grew me up really quick. So I always see that, and I'm like, I had my childhood taken away from somebody, and to see kids smile, their smile is everything. They're authentic. It's just when they smile, they mean it. They're not going to lie to you with just, and smile when they don't mean it. So I love kids. I'm a big ass kid.
I've seen that.
Yeah. I love it.
In a couple of your YouTube videos, I've seen how much of a playful person you are. It's like, this woman is a badass, but she's also very playful. Like, she's also just
I am. I have 10 nieces and nephew, and I come from a family of 6. So we laugh so much, but we love just as hard. I don't know. And being a kid, just laughing at yourself and just bringing smiles to other people's faces is what life's about.
No doubt, no doubt. So you got that going on. You definitely have, your show Mari that you're doing right now. I mean, how is that? Where on which platform do they have Mari?
Yeah. On that, you can go to watcher.tv. It's on my bio on my Instagram at Mari Cornejo Boxing. And if you go to watcher.tv, or also if you have Roku, or I think it's Roku, yeah. It's on Roku. Our channels are on there as well. And they're streaming on there. It's watcher.tv. You go on there, it's like a guide. It's like a TV guide. You just go on there and you just see wherever my show Mari is going to be playing.
And what's the show about?
It's a travel and lifestyle and anything I want, sports, anything I want, anything I want to, showcase or talk about or think it's cool or want to put somebody on also and, give them that opportunity and, just shine on them. And I love it. I love seeing people do, do their thing and be passionate about what they're doing. And yeah, I love doing that. So,
did you have Layla Ali on your show?
Yes, I had Layla Ali, Chris Cyborg, Tito Ortiz, Gabriel Rosado, and here we're gonna have these other guests here soon. Whenever the world comes back on, and yeah,
which actually leads me to my next question, actually. Involving your next fight, actually, because I know that with the world being the way it is right now, with coronavirus, now with these unfortunate other incidents that are happening right now in these cities, I mean, where are you at right now as far as your next fight goes? Because I know that that you've been, kind of like it's been kind of an up and down battle with you as far as fighting goes and everything. So like at this point, it's like your next fight. At this point, it's tough to figure out, I would imagine.
Yes, even with people who've had the fights, coming up, nobody's fighting right now. We're barely going to have our first fights since I think last year. And I think that's Top Rank in Vegas, but no audience. So we'll see how that goes. And I'm sure people will take that blueprint and other promoters will take that blueprint and, learn from it and make it better the next show and safer. And yeah, little by little, I think we're all just going to come back with it and hopefully fight. But there's just so many more horrible things going on in this world right now that 2020 needs to be 2020, man. That's something right there.
2020 has pretty much have said, you know what? Yeah.
Lord be with us.
Not so much. Now it's been a tough year, for in all aspects. But I mean, it's like I actually had an episode where I try to like address the silver linings of not 2020, but of the coronavirus and how, there's positives to that. But obviously, there's also negatives to that. The positives are more togetherness with family and friends, like coming together as a group. There's also the fact of the matter that the environment is fixing itself. There's rivers in Venice that you couldn't see the bottom of that you're now being able to see, ozone layers that are fixing themselves. It just goes to show that man has a deep influence on the environment. So that's also in essence fixing itself. So there's a few positives that people have seen a little bit of. But what is currently right now, the negative is what's happening right now with all these disturbances. I mean, you and I, we talked about it before we started this interview, how it's affected both of us. I've seen that you've been very vocal on social media about it. And, it's one of those things where I'm a Los Angelino. I know that you're not, but you've been adopted into this city, into the state. And it's giving you a lot. So I know that you're hurting from it too. Especially, because I mean, it's also affected because you're originally from Washington. So it's you know, it's affecting your cities as well. You're from Seattle, so it's affecting that city as well. And so it's affecting everybody all over the nation.
It affects everybody. We're all in this. And I mean, with all this, damn it, change has to come from it.
Agreed.
Truly. That's what we just pray on, that all this disaster that people are doing from anger, and some, you know, some not so. Like some are just out there doing going backwards with what we're trying to do as going forward. And it's unfortunate, but
it's tragic.
It's
tragic.
disgusting,
because a lot of people, they're not even out there. Some aren't out there to protest. They're just out there to damage and loot. This is just an excuse to go ahead and cause damage and loot. They're not there for a real purpose. And even the police, because I have a good friend of mine that's a police officer. He's a detective with the LAPD, and he's one of the good ones. It's like we can't all blame all officers. They're not all bad. And I've asked him about this before in the past, and he says, "What can I say? There's a few bad apples in every job. Not just in mine, but in every job there's going to be some bad apples." And in essence, I've actually talked to somebody about this, about the vetting process when it comes to vetting candidates for the police academy. And their vetting process is actually kind of flawed, because when they send out police officers to go ahead and ask people questions about the candidate, they only go and ask the friends and family. Obviously, they're going to go ahead and say good things. What they need to do, in my opinion, is go to their old high schools, check out their records, talk to their counselors, and find out exactly if they noticed any, you know, any strange behavior from this person while they were growing up. Because in adolescence, that's when you find out what kind of person you're becoming. So in essence, what they need to do is go to these high schools, ask their teachers, former counselors, you know, maybe even old schoolmates, and ask them what kind of person was this here. And others too, you know, they say, oh, well, some of them are they come in from military. Well, they need to be extremely vetted because of the experiences they suffered when they were in the field. You know, they have PTSD, you know, they have shot people. They have a lot of, you know, deep emotional issues they need to take care of as well. These are all the vetting processes that I don't think are happening. And that's why you have some of these police officers que se le pasa la mano, you know, like what we say in Spanish, they go a little too far. And it's not right. And this you know, this is the after effect from that. In my opinion. So.
Yeah, that's a very great point, and I agree. That's something that they should. I mean, asking your family and friends hello, of course. What are they going to say? You know,
exactly.
They want you to get in there, so
it's a tough situation. But I mean, I'm hoping, like everybody else is hoping, to go ahead and, you know, get everything under control eventually, and you know, get back to normal, whatever that is at this point, and you know, try to figure stuff out. But I mean, going back to you, I mean, it's again, I'm very happy that you have come all this way that you've come. Keep on doing what you're doing, and you know, I wish you luck in your next fight, because I know it's going to be amazing. Who are you fighting? Do you know?
We had a name in before all this happened, so we'll get back to that, and then we'll be announcing. But it's going to be a great fight, this next one. So.
You've been in training. You've been training for it this entire time too, right?
I've been training. Well, I went home in the beginning of all this. I was back home, so I just stayed there for about a month. I put on, you know, the good quarantine 15 that everybody else.
I think I put on the quarantine 30.
Oh no. So so I just came back and yeah, took off the weight, and now just been sane. Really, if I don't work out, I feel like I can't breathe. It's just for your mind, for your mental state, moving your body, doing something, getting out for a walk. Also, yes, eating right as well. You know, you can't sit down every meal and have the cheesecake, I say, which I wish it was, you know, I wish that was possible, and I would feel great, but
Oh, that diet cheesecake?
So, yeah. So yeah, just those things that I've been doing to stay sane, and it's been working. But
I also noticed, and I'm sorry to cut you off, but I also noticed that you're doing on Instagram, on social media, you're also doing like these workout videos. Are you trying to start something with that as well?
I do that one. Yeah, like how I started my YouTube first, and then I went on to doing the show. Mm-hmm. So I first give it a run with that, and then I'll do something else with it. I'll come up with a workout video. So that's something in that I plan to do in the very near future. So
that's awesome. That's awesome, because I think I'm gonna need that. Desperately.
Well, yes.
Like a full workout diet plan. You know, the Mari Cornejo, you know, diet and workout plan, I would totally buy it for $29.99. So
yeah, there you go. So yeah, so that's why I post a little here and there just to give a glimpse and get people's reaction, and then I go in and actually do a video. But that's one thing that I am definitely going to do, a workout video. I remember doing Tai Bo growing up.
Me too. I still have VHS for that.
That was a killer. I thought that still would whoop my ass, but it was awesome. And I've done some some demo ones to just get some boxing, but it's also boxing with like some salsa, and there's some dancing involved, because I you've seen on my videos, I'm always dancing in my videos. You have to have fun with it. Have fun, make it fun. Don't think about who's staring at you. Who cares? Just you're there for you. So yeah, no, that's fantastic. And you know, I think you might be onto something. Salsa boxing. Yeah. It gets in there.
That I think would be something that a lot of people would definitely get into. So I hope to see that very soon. But other than that, I mean, like I said, I'm so happy that you're doing well. I'm looking forward to your fights. I know you said this already, but tell me, how can people stalk you on social media?
Do not stalk me on social media. No. Stalk me all you want on social media. At Mari Cornejo Boxing. Cornejo, Cornejo Boxing. And on the TV show on YouTube also, you can just type in Mari Cornejo on YouTube, and you can catch some of my Mari shows on there as well. I've uploaded them on my YouTube channel. So yeah, thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it, and best of luck with everything, and hope to see you soon.
Thank you, definitely, Mari. Thank you so much for being on the Xander Effect, and again, be careful out there, be safe, and we'll hopefully see you soon.
Yes. All right. God bless.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you, Maricela Cornejo, for being on the Xander Effect. Hopefully we'll have you here on the show again very soon. In sports, Drew Brees goes on a kind of like a Q&A Yahoo type of interview, actually. And he went ahead and he talked about how he still is against members of the NFL players that are still taking a knee during the National Anthem. He went ahead and he said, quote, "I will never agree with anybody disrespecting the flag of the United States." He talked about a lot of different things during that interview, but he also went ahead and acknowledged what was going on with the killing of George Floyd. And he went ahead and he said, quote, "Is everything right with our country right now? No, it's not. We still have a long way to go. But I think what you do by standing there and showing respect for the flag with your hand over your heart is it shows unity. It shows that we are all in this together. We can all do better, and that we are all part of the solution." So him saying that, he also mentioned that he had family members that served in the military as well. Well, since that interview, he's gotten a lot of backlash from a lot of other athletes, starting with LeBron James, who went ahead and he made comments about Drew Brees' interview, and he says, quote, "Wow, man, is it still surprising at this point? Sure isn't. You literally still don't understand why Cap was kneeling on one knee. Has absolutely nothing to do with the disrespect of flag of United States and our soldiers, men and women, who keep our land free. My father-in-law was one of those men who fought as well for this country. I asked him questions about it and thank him all the time for his commitment. He never found Cap peaceful protest offensive because he and I both know what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. God bless you. But LeBron James wasn't the only one. Richard Sherman also had a couple of things to say about Drew Brees. He said, quote, "He's beyond lost. Guarantee you there were black men fighting alongside your grandfather, but this doesn't seem to be about that. That uncomfortable conversation you are trying to avoid by injecting military into a conversation about brutality and equality is part of the problem." Other players also weighed in. NFL New England Patriots stars twins Devin and Jason McCourty's joint Twitter account basically said, they quoted and they said, "This is a disgrace to speak about your grandfathers as if there weren't black men fighting next to them. Those men later returned to a country that hated them. Don't avoid the issue and try to make it about a flag or the military. Fight like your grandfathers for what's right." So, yeah, I mean, also Doug Baldwin went on to Twitter and he said, quote, "The reason my children have to live in a world that won't empathize with their plan is because people like you are raising your children to perpetuate the cycle. Drew, you are the problem." So, Drew Brees definitely got a lot of blowback from his comments that he made during that interview. That's going to be a tough pill to swallow come football season, because a lot of those guys might be targeting the quarterback of New Orleans, and who knows if his own players are going to even have his back, because it's a pretty difficult situation to be in, making those comments and then having that kind of blowback. So who knows what's going to happen there. In other sports news, Dak Prescott pledges $1 million to improve police training. The Dallas Cowboys quarterback went on social media and he said, "As a black multiracial American, I am disgusted and unsettled. As our communities take action protesting and fighting for the justice of George Floyd and every black life, I am with you. I have viewed these protests and riots in our streets as a form of strength and an attempt to show we as black people have rights that aren't being perceived as equally as our counterparts. I will take action and help. I will act alongside of all of you. We will clean our streets in our communities, not only of the looting and violence, but most importantly, the racism, racial profiling, and hate." Dak Prescott also has committed to donate $1 million to, quote, "improve our police training and address systematic racism through education and advocacy." Good on Dak Prescott, and hopefully that helps to go ahead and make things better in various communities, but mainly right now for his own community where he's at right now. In other sports news, good news for a lot of NBA fans. Looks like NBA is about to approve a plan for a 22-team return with 8 regular season games. Of course, we know that many states are starting to slowly reopen, amid the COVID-19 crisis pandemic, and this includes, looks like it also includes many sports, seasons are going to continue on. This is coming in via ESPN.com's, writer Adrian Wojnarowski, and he went ahead and said, quote, "Commissioner Adam Silver and the league's advisory finance committee have shared the broad details of a plan with teams to play at the Walt Disney World Resort," sources said. "The plan includes 13 Western Conference teams and 9 Eastern Conference teams, 8 regular season games, a possible play-in tournament for the 8th seed, and playoffs." So looks like they're rearranging a bit on, as far as the schedule goes in regards to the NBA, because it's just it's definitely all over the place right now with everything that's going on with the pandemic and everything. So it's all over the place. So this might be a good plan. I'm kind of curious to see exactly how smoothly that's gonna go, and if it even does get approved, because at this time, there's a lot of speculation that because a lot of these protests were going on, there might be a high possibility of new spikes and a new spread. Because many people that were out in these protests and everything were not wearing masks, and there is still a pandemic of COVID-19 out there. It hasn't gone away yet. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see exactly what's going to happen at this point. We'll see what happens. Coming up next in video game news, got a lot of companies that are joining in support. Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, and dozens of studios share their support for the Black Lives Matter movement. We'll talk a little bit about that. But first, here is AB's Nobody right here on the Xander Effect.
I told y'all these bitches ain't fucking with me like that. Host Kid the producer. Phone whip when I'm driving, ayy. Pulling up in that Mozzie, ayy. Tattoos on my body, ayy. Through a dinner is private, ayy. I'm for sure you a probably, ayy. Got the bitch on the molly, ayy. I'm a church and they copy, ayy. Talking shit and they hiding, ayy. I'm busy getting a check. Got them upset and they vex. I'm in their neck. I just got brand new address. I just might land on the deck. Tell me what's next. I got the Louis on me. I got them jewels on my teeth. Swear that it be. Just go and Google the drip. Bitch, I am who you gon' see. Say you got a bitch, but you keep fucking with me. Touchdown in the 305, pop out the PJ. Bank account so long, it look like Oprah Winfrey. Shit too easy, ain't nobody fucking with me.
Shit so easy, ain't nobody fucking with me. Shit so easy, ain't nobody fucking with me. Shit so easy, ain't nobody fucking with me. Shit so easy, ain't nobody fucking with me.
I need a Spencer thing, yeah, that's what I like. And take a big spot, yeah, that's what I might. Jose, I'm drinking, oh yeah, tonight. Wanna hang with the gang, need an invite. Run it up, fuck it up, broke bitch, shut it up. Broke boy, I won't give a fuck. Pussy good, but I don't give it up, yeah. I just be doing my thing, yeah. No NBA, I got rings, yeah. Robins is all in my jeans, yeah. Say you got a bitch, but you keep fucking with me. Touchdown in the 305, pop out the PJ. Bank account so long, it look like Oprah Winfrey. Shit too easy, ain't nobody fucking with me.
Shit so easy, ain't nobody fucking with me. Shit so easy, ain't nobody fucking with me. Shit so easy, ain't nobody fucking with me. Shit so easy, ain't nobody fucking with me.
Shit so easy, baby. Why she call up easy, baby? Ice wet might freeze me, baby. Late pipe, she say don't leave me, baby. Send pics been teasing lately. Down in that pussy, yeah, he the greatest. Late night creep be the crazy. Don't spit out that nut, say eat it, baby. Who fucking with us, say nobody. Baby, stop playing that, bring me that body. I'm really tryna get inside it. Put this so wet, say ooh, excited. Tryna get with you one night. Throw it back, baby, say ooh, she fighting. Grab my back, say ooh, she biting. Pulling me in, ooh, she like it. Ring, 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 call AB. Or that tough dumb nigga can't play me. Too cool little nigga stay Swayze. Ballin' on that nigga, call me yellow KD. Or you can call a nigga yellow AD. Nut up on the grill till that bitch say cheese. Beg for the dick, let mama say please. Be the pussy real, real lazy.
Say you got a bitch, but you keep fucking with me. Touchdown in the 305, pop out the PJ. Bank account so long, it look like Oprah Winfrey. Shit too easy, ain't nobody fucking with me.
Shit so easy, ain't nobody fucking with me. Shit so easy, ain't nobody fucking with me. Shit so easy, ain't nobody fucking with me. Shit so easy, ain't nobody fucking with me.
It's AB, baby. And my boy, Yellow Beezy. Yeah, we fuck it up.
Yo, what's happening? It's your favorite gangster, Drew Brown. I rep that 305, that Dade County, that MIAO, and we checking in with Xander Dames on the Xander Effect.
that you feeling. What? If you and I touch the sky, let me open up your mind. Take you through the Milky Way. It's the way we like to play. The DJ gets you going, flowing, so forget about today.
That was Quest Cross featuring Bobby Bebop's Losing My Religion right here on the Xander Effect. In video game news, a lot of gaming companies and distributors have all banded together in support of Black Lives Matter. Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, 343 Industries, the WB, Naughty Dog, Bethesda Game Studios, and more have all pretty much posted their support for not only the Black Lives Matter movement, but all black communities amidst the ongoing protests in the United States. That pretty much was sparked by the police killing of George Floyd in Minneapolis last week. And because of that, many of the platforms have gone to Twitter and other social media platforms. PlayStation went ahead and posted on Twitter basically saying, quote, "We denounce systemic racism and violence against the black community. We will continue to work towards a future marked by empathy and inclusion and stand with our black creators, players, employees, families, and friends. Hashtag Black Lives Matter." Another one, Naughty Dog went ahead and posted on Twitter, quote, "Now is not the time for any of us to be silent. For too long have too many suffered under a systemic problem in America. Too many have lost sons, daughters, brothers, sisters, fathers, and mothers. We stand in solidarity against racism and injustice. Now is the time for all to do our part and end anti-black racism and violence. Many of us at Naughty Dog are dominating the national and local organizations. Please consider donating yourself. We hope to see the beginning of lasting change for POC in America. Hashtag Black Lives Matter." Insomniac Games also tweeted, said, quote, "Our hearts ache as we struggle through this extreme challenging time. We are hurting, we are grieving, and we are angry too, along with so many of you. We stand firmly with the Black/African American community, as colleagues, as friends, as family. We will not stop speaking out for what is right. We are listening too." and doing our part to condemn acts of racism, injustice, and intolerance. Many of us are donating to national and local organizations. We hope you will consider doing so. Insomniac will always remain dedicated to making a positive and lasting influence on people's lives within our game worlds and beyond. Hashtag Black Lives Matter. Xbox also went ahead and tweeted, Xbox stands together with our fans, creators, colleagues, friends, and the entire African American and Black community against systemic racism and injustice. We are proud to join with at Microsoft in implying Black and African American voices. All of this is absolutely incredible. Even in the game community, everybody has banded together over this cause to go ahead and fight for injustice. Myself, as a member of a minority group, as a Latino, I have also faced moments of racism towards myself. My father has actually faced moments of racism. He was wrongfully arrested many years ago, before I was even born, in Virginia. And he was even told by the local authority there that it would be a good idea for him to leave Virginia completely. This is something that, and it was actually West Virginia, I believe it was. It was very heartbreaking for me to hear that. He told me about this. I myself got pulled over by the Glendale Police Department a couple of years ago under the pretense of I had a broken taillight. Honestly, when they pulled me over, they couldn't see that. They couldn't see that I had a broken taillight because they were facing in the opposite direction. So there was no way they would have been able to see that. Automatically, I kind of assumed that they pulled me over because they saw a Latino driving a beat-up car, so they immediately pulled me over. They asked me very interesting questions. They asked me whether or not I was smoking weed. I don't know what kind of look I had on me. They also asked me if I had any drugs, if I was selling any drugs. And I'm like, I don't do that, you know? It's a very interesting, very interesting way. But all of this pales in comparison to what our Black brothers and sisters have been going through for many, 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 many years. I just want to let you know that the Xander Effect and all of us here are with you. We stand with you. We all stand together. Black lives do matter. And I will always be here to stand with you. That's the news in case you haven't heard it. Thank you so much for listening. Remember, there's still a pandemic out there. Remember to be safe. Remember to love each other. And remember, music always, always heals all. We'll see you next time.
Y'all. I be tell I told. Yeah, you did. They ain't believe it though. One life. Drew Brown. Same game, be tellin'. What up? Woo! So we kick it like it's kickball. Power couple. She drippin' in that Dolce Gabbana. They wanna touch her. Everybody know that's do girl. What you gon' do by it? Me and her take on the world. Now that's a truth.
Hey everyone, the Xander Effect is powered by 50/50 Global Music Inc., Sony Music, The Orchard, and BMG Bertelsmann Group, in association with Art 19 Media.